It's massive. This is technically the biggest match I'm ever going to be involved in my entire fishing career.
Today's a big day and a big prize. To be the first winner would be awesome. I'd like my name on that trophy.
This event is a massive event. You can feel the pressure and the tension between everyone. It's going to be a right day.
Every angler is absolute quality. Anybody can win today.
There's lots of big names here today. I'm up for it, I'm ready, we'll give it the best shot.
I've got to go all out for this one. I mean, this is one I really, really want to get on the list. I want to take that check home. I want to be the first name on that trophy.
Well, the crowds are gathering behind me because today history will be made. This is the first ever £100,000 fishing competition. We're at Woodlands Lakes up in Thirsk, and this is the Fishing Association Supercup final. 21 anglers are here today battling it out for the biggest prize in the UK scene, and also the first name to go on the incredible Fishing Association trophy. The event works very similar to the FA Cup in football. To get here you have to qualify through a number of different matches. The country is split into 20 different regions. Your name is pulled out against someone else's name. One will be home, one will be away. The home angler chooses the venue, and both anglers have to fish in an organised match within a certain period of time. The winner, they go through to the next round, and so on the pyramid is made. The ultimate goal, to be top at the end of the day. That day is today, and the prize, well, it's 100,000 quid. Well, Andy, another big event for you. You looking forward to this one?
Yeah, a lot at stake. I'm not really sure about my draw, but at the end of the day it's 100 grand and there's a chance of winning it, and I'm here. So yeah, if there's a few fish in front of me, then game on. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
So Jay, draw's been done, end peg, got to be happy with this one.
I'm really happy. Definitely in my top 2 or 3 picks, and the more I sit here, the happier I'm up. There's definitely a few fish here. You just want to win with a chance. We've done this same interview, haven't we, many occasions, and in these events it's just about having a chance, and I feel like I've got one.
John, another big day, another big match for you.
Yep, looking forward to it.
Middle of the road as well here.
Yeah.
Fancy it?
I do fancy, yeah. A lot of people keep saying about these end pegs could run away with it, but if they don't, I think middle of the lake's next best, I think.
You're one of the few anglers up here that know this venue as well. You fish here a bit. What do you think of it?
Oh, it's my favourite venue. I've been coming here 16 years. It's very, very tricky to catch fish. It's took me 16 years of coming here nearly every week, every summer, to learn what I've learned. Some of the lads that haven't been in practice might be in for a bit of a shock today.
So Zac, another big match, another big day.
Yes, yeah, probably the biggest match on the biggest day, to be honest. I mean, we've been here before. Some you win, some you lose.
Draw is all important on these matches as well, and a lot of people have got their eyes on this peg. 21, it's a favourite. I remember back to a certain match this a few years ago, there was a favoured peg there as well, and you did very, very well on that.
Managed to sit myself on an end peg that day as well, but you've still got to catch them. And not being funny, you've got Jamie Hughes on an end peg up the other end, Stu Fotheringham, the local angler here, on another end peg up there, so you know the writing's definitely not on the wall yet.
Well, joining me on the bank today is a man that is no stranger to big events. This man here, Matt Hall, he's won Fishermania in the past. It's a pleasure to have you on board today, mate.
Looking forward to it.
What a fantastic occasion this is, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, I wished I was in it first and foremost. I wasn't in it, got knocked out early, but
I won't remind you of that through the day.
So I'm looking to be in it though next year, and what an occasion, really. It's fantastic, really. Steve's done an awesome job.
He has. There's a lovely buzz around the day as well. It's very different to to some of the other events, these other big events too, but there is a real buzz about today. You know, just looking down this line here, there are some of the best anglers in the country here.
Yeah, absolutely.
They all deserve to be here as well, don't they?
They do, yeah, they do. They've 20 odd regions. They've knocked people out along the way to get to this point. They're all deserved of a place. And no doubt they'll all be really excited, just as we are, really.
Absolutely. What do we know about this venue as well? Because it's massive in this area, but for a lot of the guys, they travel a long way. They don't normally fish it, so there's a little bit of the unknown too.
It's, with it being slightly north, it's not really in...
Slightly north?
Yeah, slightly north. Yeah. It's sort of got its own sort of micro sort of system where people come here, locals come here a lot, and to travel up from where all the majority of the commercial fisheries are, sort of in the Midlands and slightly south, it's a fairly long way. But I've been here myself up on Fishermania qualifiers, and I know it's an awesome venue. It looks an absolute picture. It really does. It looks brilliant.
It throws it awesome. The lake's in absolutely fantastic condition. Yep. It's been fishing really well as well recently, isn't it? Looking around, there's a lot of fish moving too. There are favoured areas. There's bits we know about. There's bits we think about. There's bits we don't know about. Exactly. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. I, for one, I'm really, really looking forward to this. It's a completely new concept of competition. It's a completely new event. And of course, there's £100,000 up for grabs. And I'll say that again, £100,000. Fishing is now absolutely in the big time. This is going to be a brilliant day.
Rightio, ladies and gentlemen. We're just about to make history. So good luck to all you anglers out there. Let's do it.
Right, that's it. So we are off. We are off. This is it now, the start of the £100,000 competition. This is the Fishing Association Super Cup. It is game on. 21 anglers are lined up here at Thirsk Woodlands to take on the very best in commercial match fishing. The biggest prize there is, and by the end of the day, somebody will be walking away with a name on a magnificent trophy and a cheque for £100,000. Right, so let's have a look at this man then. This is Zac Brown, peg 21. And this was the favoured peg, wasn't it, Matt? This is the one everybody wanted.
It was, yeah. It's close to the edge, and the southwesterly wind pushes a lot of food onto this bank, and all the carp seem to congregate in this area.
It's an interesting one because there has been a bit of traffic up and down this bank. People have been walking to and from the pegs, and there was a little bit of concern that it might spook them, but it doesn't seem to have been. Interesting mix. I'm looking up the line. There's quite a few poles. Most people are out at distance. There's one or two short. There was a rod or two picked up to begin with, but back in on the pole again now. And it's it's a good tactic, isn't it? Catch what's in front of you first rather than going out too far. Yeah.
Well, often you find that there's always one or two sort of, we always call them daft fish that sort of can't wait to get caught almost. Usually you catch them really close here.
You're saying about one or two daft fish down here. A little bit down to our right, in the margins, there are two aerators, and just in front of the aerator there are four little posts in the water. Yep. And if you look carefully at those four posts in the water, they keep knocking, and there are an awful lot of fish down there.
Exactly.
And I think that's one of the things that puts this peg just a sniff ahead of everyone else.
Yeah, it's definitely got, end pegs in fishing are worth their weight in gold, to be fair, and also where you've got an end bank such as here. It just it's got to be a favourable peg.
Well, I've just seen a strike, and I can see a man up there with a red cap. That is peg 15, Mark Goddard, and he's just had the first bite of the match. He's on the feeder, chucking 3/4 of the way over, and he's playing one at the moment. Looks like it's a decent carp as well, and that will be a nice little nerve settler. Everybody now is going to be watching, thinking, "Oh, should we pick the feeder on it?"
Absolutely, yeah. There's nothing better than feeling, your first good fish on. It definitely settles the nerves. It definitely fires you up, and gives you a bit of a, sort of enthusiasm for what's to come.
Just about making him out in the distance. He's a fair way from our cameras, but we're not in a position to move at the moment. But you can see rod tip just being kept down. He's had that on a while, so he's either being slightly cautious or these things do kick up a stink. I suspect it's a bit of both.
I think so. He's yeah, you get him close, usually it's pretty much in the net. Yeah.
Oh, it's a good one though.
Looks.
That's longer than his landing net opening.
Hold on,
that's always a good sign.
Picks this up. Yeah, that looks 7 or 8 pounds, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's a good start. So there we have a statement made straight away. That is Mark Goddard. One decent fish in the net. Here's the youngest competitor at the moment. That is Rob Swan, and he's just had a really, really good fish there as well.
Yep.
That came in really quick. There was no sign of it, and then suddenly, bang, he's in. He's in action.
About 5-6 pound, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, nice fish.
Well, this is a man now that I always think should have won something big. He's won a number of regionals. He's won a lot of local events, and that man is Dale Shepherd, and he is an incredibly gifted angler.
Definitely. I've fished against Dale in Fishermanias over the years, and he's always a really tough angler to beat. It looks like he's got a nice fish on there, pulling a lot of elastic. Looks cool with it though. Fair play to him.
He doesn't suffer under pressure. No. He doesn't feel pressure at all. He's he's an immensely capable angler. He's very good with big fish as well. I've noticed across the board he's good with various different things, but when it comes to big carp,
yeah,
actually he's really good at that, and I think he'd be very much at home today.
Yeah.
Although it's close, it doesn't look anywhere near ready yet.
It doesn't, does it?
Oh, you never know. Is he going for it?
Yeah,
I tell you what, just ignore me. Dale Shepherd, that was an absolutely fantastic netting there, because it looked like it was turning round. He's pounced on it. Here, the round of applause from the far side. That was an impressive bit of angling there.
It was, yeah. It looks about 6 or 8 pound as well. Nice fish.
Puts him in the game, doesn't it?
It does, definitely.
Looks like it's going Dale Shepherd's way this early hour, mate, isn't it? He's in yet again. There's been a few people losing fish. There's 1 or 2 catching small ones, but Dale Shepherd is absolutely on fire.
Yeah, that looks like his 3rd decent carp I think he's caught there. If you just notice a little bit of wind where the wind ends in front of him, he's probably just holding a few fish. Seems to be a few there. I saw him strike at a couple that he didn't hit, so there's definitely a few fish in front of him.
I see next door that Zac Brown's changed tactics too. He's gone back onto the pole now.
Yeah, you have to be versatile and be in tune with what's happening around you. Obviously, he's seen Dale catch a couple shallow, so he's done the same. Obviously, he's had no luck in throwing up to the margin with the feeder.
And there's Dale on the net now. Oh, that's a big fish. Oh, that is a big fish.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh, round of applause there. That's a two-handed job, surely.
Yeah, that's 8 pounds, 7 or 8 pound.
Well, he's miles in the lead at the moment now with that.
He's got 20 odd pound, I thought now.
And that, he's going to be absolutely loving it. And this is John Wincup, no stranger to big matches. Quite fancied middle of the lake. You know, we all want an end peg, but actually if you're not going to get end peg, middle of the lake with a bit of space.
Yep, he's got a peg either side if you look, which sort of helps.
Good fish as well.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, another good fish there.
4 or 5 pound.
What's he been doing? I didn't catch what he was doing earlier.
He's doing the same as Dale. He's fishing shallow, flicking his rig over, simulating bait going in, probably feeding very little. Just trying to entice one.
And with having nobody opposite, you know, there's a reasonable amount of space these guys have got. They can just pick these fish off all day as well. It's not like they're being pressured all around them. If they drift away, there's a good chance they'll come back again.
Absolutely. There's no reason to sort of feed to get a lot of carp into your peg. The old adage is that you feed for one, catch it and feed for another.
Well, this is a man that started off as Bucky's favourite. It was a peg that he really, really fancied, and lo and behold, he's drawn it. He calls it his favourite peg on the lake, actually, and this is Stu Fotheringham. Now, he fishes up here quite a bit, but he's not been able to settle into any rhythm as of yet. 1 fish so far in the first hour, 4 or 5 pounder.
Yeah, it's been very quiet. I saw him on the tip just now. He's gone back out on the pole. Obviously, things aren't going his way, but it doesn't mean they won't. I mean, he looks like he's going to fish pole towards the bank.
It's interesting because when I was talking to him earlier, he said that he was going to try and fish all of his match on the rod.
Really?
And the very fact that he's now on the pole indicates that what he was hoping was going to happen hasn't happened.
No. It looks like he's seen a few fish moving around. He's trying to put it in front of one, see if he can get one to have a go.
Well, Rob Swan's absolutely flying at the moment. Look at that. He's taking no prisoners with this. He's just hooked a decent fish. And he's got it right under control in seconds.
Yeah, he's got to be careful he doesn't get too ambitious. They have a tendency to get under your nets and things like that when they've still got some life in them.
Yeah, that's a fair call. But he's definitely on his A game today, isn't he? He's fishing an absolutely blinding match at the moment.
Yeah, he's doing well. When you consider the people around him haven't really caught a deal, he's doing well. I think that's probably his 3rd, is it?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Look at that. No messing with that one as well. Well done, young man.
Yeah.
It's great to see young talent coming through as well. You know, big round of applause going around there.
Absolutely.
And he's just looking up, little nod of appreciation for the guys that have just said well done a little bit further up the bank. It's a great sportsman-like event, this one as well. But, you know, people think that fishing's an old man sport. When you're looking at the likes of this youngster and a lot of the other really, really good talent coming through, you know what, we've got a great future, and with events like this, it's just going to get better and better.
Absolutely. There's a hell of a lot of them knocking around that are just on the edge of the cusp of being sort of in this type of field, and Rob's definitely one of them, and he's not overawed by the occasion. He's done all right so far, so fair play to him.
Well, let's have a look at the master in action now. One Jamie Hughes, Esquire. He's on an end peg. He was very, very happy with his draw both last night and when he came to see the peg this morning as well.
Yeah.
And he's taken a bit of a commanding lead. It's the first time we've spent any time looking at him. And just over an hour on the clock. And he's looking at £50 plus. In fact, he's claiming in the region of 60 plus already. That is just magical.
It is. I think he said he got 12, which is, you know, it's got to be up there, 50, 60 pound, I thought. But there's a lot of fish down the bottom end of the lake, but whether it's the crowds or what, that's just keeping them from not wanting to feed. These fish up here look a lot more inviting.
They're behaving very, very differently. They're moving around a lot more. They look a lot more confident on the top, don't they? You know, the fish down that bottom end, they seem to be mooching around a lot slower, but also down where Zac Brown is in particular, they're really holding tight on the edge. Jamie, at the moment, has just got an incredibly commanding position. Everybody knows Jamie Hughes is on fish. Everybody knows that if he's got fish, he's going to catch them. And he's doing exactly what he does, ploughing through them. And it is just going to be fish after fish after fish. And unless something goes wrong, I can't see beyond Jamie already.
It's hard, you're right, it's hard to look past him. And like I mentioned earlier, I think if the lake gets better for most people, it'll just get better for Jamie. So his lead will be really, really hard to catch back up.
Well, he's looking £200 plus. You know, I'm going to be very, very bold now, bearing in mind we are not even halfway through.
Yeah.
But he's going to be £200 plus. And this is a man that is the key contender that will take on Jamie Hughes. This is Stu Fotheringham.
Yeah, it's, as we said earlier, his end peg could come to life at any point, and in this last half an hour to an hour...
he's just pulled out of it.
Oh, he has pulled out of it.
That's the second one he's pulled out of it. And, you know, sometimes when your luck's not in, things like that, they have a bit of an effect on you, don't they? That was a great shame for Stu there. He's had 4 fish now. He's pulled out of 2. But his fish are quite big down here as well. He's probably 25, 30 pounds, so it looks like he's knocking on the door of second place now. Yeah,
he can. The good thing is with it being an end peg, and he's been priming it most of the day, is that it could come really good. Really good. He could have a flying hour or something.
Oh, he's just corrected us there. He's just said that he's lost 4 and got 3. And we've all been there in matches, you know, sometimes you can't put a foot wrong and everything goes your way and it's lovely. And another day, for some reason, they all fall off, and
dead right.
You don't know what you've done wrong. You don't know why they've done it. You've done exactly what you did the day before and it worked. And
Normally, though, method's a pretty reliable method.
Well, here's Andy Power in yet again, and you can't give him any sniff of fish because he'll be all over him. Interesting tactic as well. We've not seen many other people. It looks like he's on the bomb and pellet.
Yeah, he's just he's firing loose feeding pellets. They look like sort of 8-10 mil pellets, and fishing have a small bomb over the top. It's quite a popular method on this venue.
Yeah, well, it's in. That's a decent fish as well. That's gonna make people look a bit. If Andy Power's into fish, game on. Well, just looking through the trees there at Rich Clements, and you know what? He's starting to make a bit of movement as well. This is his 3rd or 4th fish in the last few minutes, probably the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, he's on the rod, he's probably on a method or a bomb, and we've just seen him catch at least 3, maybe even his 4th. So all good for him.
Rich has just reached into that. He's just not quite ready yet. He'll get it at this time of asking. And there it is. Oh, he's just sliding that one in. That's another big fish.
He's having to wriggle it in, it's big, yeah.
I think he's probably jumped into second place, now, because in the last few minutes he's had 4 decent fish that are probably around about 30 pounds.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah.
Let's have another little look at Stu Fotheringham now, down at the bottom end. He's got a fish there. Doesn't look like a massive one, but he's starting to chip away now.
Yeah, it looks about £3 on the method feeder.
So again, just reiterating that they're down on the deck at the moment.
Absolutely.
A little bit of rain just starting to fall. It's gone dull, it's gone overcast. I'm not going to say it's gone colder, but there's been a slight drop in temperature now. We're not getting as much sun as we were before. Just very, very light rain, high cloud, grey conditions.
Looks just about perfect for catching fish on the bottom, to be honest.
Doesn't it? He's a man that's had a change of tactics and a change of fortune at the moment. Zac Brown is now coming back into the game.
Yeah, everybody said this peg would show up eventually, and so it's proved. Zac was a little bit of a poor start early, but there's been a lot of fish in this margin, and he's had at least 2 while we've been here, and there's every chance he'll catch quite a few now, I think.
It really is game on now, isn't it? The second half of the match is going to be just mind-blowingly exciting now, because although Jamie took that early lead, he's not out of the woods yet, and there's a lot of people snapping at his heels. And if Zac's going to catch this stamp of fish this quickly, and also this easily as well, because he's just down his edge, he's on the platform next door to him, it's a lovely bit of fish, and he doesn't have to reel him in from the other side. He's not got accuracy issues with his casting. No. It is absolutely bang on. Yeah. He's been priming it. At some stage he had to come. He's obviously timed it to be halfway, and it looks like it's paying off at the moment. Well, it's the halfway stage now, and the game is changing all the time, and we've seen 3 different parts of the first half, haven't we? Straight away, Dale Shepherd and Jamie Hughes just seemed to put the foot down, didn't they? Yeah, they did. There was a lot of fish on top, and those fish a few were caught early on, then it went a little bit quiet, and now it's starting to pick up again, so all looking good for the second half of the match, yeah. It's been interesting seeing the psychology of everybody, because, Jamie was up on that top peg, he was into fish straight away, he was mugging them, he was catching fish, yeah. And up and down the bank there were little ripples of, oh, he's got it already, it's in the bag, oh, Jamie's smashing it, and he was, yeah. But the last hour, he's not been. No, really. And it's changed completely, isn't it?
Absolutely. He must have been really happy with his start, mugging fish, catching a dozen or so on the surface. That method has probably seen it run its course, and now he's having to change tactics. He's a little bit picking things up, and Jamie's a very experienced angler. He'll find something that will work, but he's having to ring the changes a bit to find where he can get bites.
We think, by the way, at this stage, and we don't know, but we think Jamie is on around about 70 pounds. That's where we think he is. Now, halfway stage, we think Chris Weeder now is well and truly in the game. What, 55, 60 pounds?
Yeah, Chris was one of them, had a pretty slow start. He's now switched to catching on bottom, I think with maggots, and he's definitely picked up. While was up there a bit ago, he caught one that was getting on double figures. You don't need many of them to catch Jamie.
The big battle at the moment is going on for third place, and there's lots of people around about the 40, 45 pound mark. In fact, there's probably 4 or 5 of them. I would say that Dale Shepherd is there, Rob Swan is there, we've got Rick Clement there as well, and then 1 or 2 others that are just starting to tip into that 40 pound. Yeah. Dale probably just has the run at the moment.
Yeah. If I was fishing, I would not be too concerned at the minute. If I'm sitting with high 20s, 30s, that sort of weight, it's very easy to pull back to £70 in no time at all. You get £50 in 5 drops in. you know. But I mean, it has to be, you know, you have to have a good run. One or two anglers are looking like they might. Zac Brown scored a few recently down the margin. It's got that feel that things are going to hot up.
He's just looking over the shoulder now. Zac Brown is playing one as we speak, and Stu Fotheringham is another one to watch as well. You know, he's had a real faltering start. He's lost more fish than he's caught.
But that doesn't mean he's out of the game, because end pegs, as we all know, do have a slight advantage. He's got every chance of that coming good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, not so long ago I said that I couldn't see too far beyond Jamie Hughes. I've got to say at this stage of the game, I think that was probably a little bit presumptive, because Jamie had a really good hour and a bit, and then it died off. And what's happened now is, because they haven't got going on the deck for Jamie, it is all absolutely wide open again. He's in the lead. Can he do it? Can he stick another massive title on his list of wins, or is it going to be someone else's game? We're going to find out now, because this is definitely getting exciting. Here's the other end peg, directly behind Zac Brown, and this is Aidan Mansfield. Great looking peg, this one. Hasn't been as favoured as the others,
No.
but it does produce.
Well, it's an end peg again, it's got a margin, so Aidan's got to be massively confident that his margin swim might come good. As Zac's has behind us, he's in a similar position.
Oh,
It did look foul up, that did. It did look foul up.
It did. It did, but when your day's not your day, what can you say?
No, no. The way it was kiting out when he first hooked it, it looked like it was foul hooked.
Dale Shepherd is back into fish again, and that was a quick bite.
Look at that. That's efficiency.
Just see Zac Brown there next door. He's got to up his game a little bit now, because everybody thinks that Zac's on the plum peg here. Oh, and there we go. That's how to do it. Look, straight away. It's only a little one, that.
Yeah, it is.
Not what he was hoping for. I thought that was going to be something half decent there when that went under, but
The perch.
yeah, that's never a good sign, is it? The old perch coming out.
No.
If he's got a perch in there, there's no carp there at the moment. Again, they've moved out, or they'd be on that like a shot. You're not going to get perch sniffing around with big carp there. It'll be a few minutes before we see that one coming into life again. Well, Chris Wheeler is absolutely flying at the moment. Maggot man.
Yeah, he's making it happen, which fair dues is, you know, he's been consistent all the way through, really. That's another one in. I'd say, unless Jamie's caught any more, I'd say he's catching him up hand over fist.
100%.
Yeah.
The run rate is completely different. The run of play has changed. And there's another man that's coming at the game now as well, and that's Grant Talbot, because in the last 15-20 minutes, Grant's landed 2 or 3 fish too.
Yeah.
And these guys that are really putting the miles on the clock now are the ones that are fishing very short. They've prepped up early.
Yeah.
And what they've done earlier on is now coming to fruition. So, Jordan Hall, the man in white, is playing what looks to be a decent fish, and in the left-hand side of the picture as we look, Jamie Hughes has just landed a very small roach.
Yeah.
Are things changing? Jamie puts down one option he's going to bait up. Well, Chris Wheeler's in again, and if he lands this one, we think this is a fish that's going to put him in front of Jamie Hughes. He's going to take the lead, and he's got a couple of big scalps already to his name, isn't he?
Yeah, he has. I think in the semi-final he knocked out Andy Bennett, but he's doing a sterling job now. He's stayed consistent with his feeding and everything, and confident that he was going to catch. He's putting fish together, and Jamie's struggling in the corner. Wouldn't surprise me if he was in front of him now.
It's really strange, actually, how Jamie's peg just hasn't come alive.
Yeah, with it being an end peg, you'd think he'd definitely get a few down the edge, and I think he probably will do, but it's not prolific. The fish seem to have moved out of that corner. There's in fact, the guy next to Chris Wheeler's got one on as well.
He's having a bit of a tussle under his nets there at the moment.
Yeah. So it looks like the fish are just starting to feed that bit further down the lake than where they were originally in front of Jamie.
But it's back up here now as we look at Jordan. Fish coming close to the net.
I'm not quite sure what Jordan's caught today in that before now. What's to say he won't carry on catching, but Jamie's sitting there, looks a bit forlorn, sat there trying to fish in the margins for fish that are obviously either not there or not feeding.
It just goes to show, you know, with these matches that you should never ever give up, because again, people are thinking, oh, Jamie's got it, it's in the bag, it's out the way. You just never know, and he'll catch them if they're there, but if they're not there or they don't want to be caught, nobody can do it.
No.
But Chris has got another decent fish, and by all accounts that's the one that will now put him in the lead.
Yeah.
It's very interesting up here now, because there's been a change in the hierarchy up at this top end, because Jordan is the one that seems to be back into fish. Chris has been very slow, and if we look at these three here, Jamie, Jordan and Chris is currently plumbing up. Now if he's plumbing up, it means that he's either changing something or he's fixing something, so whatever it was that was going now isn't. Jamie has picked up 2 or 3 different things over the last 15 minutes, so he hasn't got anything going properly, whereas in the middle our man Jordan is back in the game again and catching quite a few fish. He's got a bit of a run. I wonder if there's a group in the area that's moving up and down. That's a big fish.
I think so. He's caught that in the margin, and that's a good indication that you know, the margin's a place to be.
Jamie having a little bit of a look down the edge now.
Yeah, it's his only place he can really go. I think everything else is all but finished.
Aidan Mansfield, bottom end of the lake, he's having a bit of a run as well now. 1 or 2 more anglers switching it up a gear, finding out where the fish are, getting their tactics absolutely bang on.
Yeah, definitely. It's another end peg. It looks like, you know, the end pegs are where there's fish to be caught. Aidan's had a very quiet day, but he's in the last half an hour, I think he's had 3 good fish. He's got another one on now. He did lose one that looked foul hooked, but
I'm thinking that one might be as well, because he's following that one out quite a bit, isn't he?
Just indicates how they're not feeding properly, really.
Let's have a look. He's got it under control. Of course, they do count however they come in.
Yeah. Now, there's a knack to playing foul hook fish as well.
Go on then. You can't just say that. You've got to fill us in.
You generally have to keep your pole tip low on near the water, and the back of your pole high, because at any moment if it comes off, you'll end up with it all around the end of your pole and all sorts of trouble. You try and steer it quite a bit, and when it gets close, you know, you've got to try and go for it with a net, because it could easily just run off and, you know, take you another 10 minutes to get it back again. Some people are very good at it, others struggle with it. Foul hook fish are just part and parcel of match angling.
Good fish that. Worth investing the time into, because that is a good fish, and a round of applause comes from the support crew down the bottom end. And I think he's coming back in the game.
Definitely. If he has a good hour at that, there's every chance he'll put 40-50 pound in the net.
Zac Brown finding his feet now. Lots of fish down the edge, but they just haven't seemed to play ball. He's been chucking down there, not even getting indications, let alone getting bites down there, so he's gone out straight in front of him, and that seems to be a little bit more rewarding.
That's a £5 carp, yeah, nice, 5 to 6. He's fishing short with maggots by the look of it, and he's had a good run. I think that's his 7th on the trot, so he's got to be looking to be well up.
He's back in the pack again, and that he's going to be absolutely loving it.
Yep.
Still plenty to play for. Well, there's a bit of a scrap going on down here between these two. Dale Shepherd and Zac Brown are going head to head, but Zac's put his foot down a little bit, and he's had an absolutely brilliant last hour, isn't he? Half an hour left, mate, and we're looking at a potential winner here now.
I think so. I sort of, early on in the match, I saw
there we are.
There you go, look.
Clonk.
I saw his potential of his peg looked brilliant, to be honest, and he's showing us what it's all about now. It's the final hour. It's that bagging hour, really.
Oh, and he's bagging.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right under, well, top 3 to hand. Brilliant fishing.
He's feeding a reasonable amount of maggots as well.
He's putting a lot of maggots in, yeah, a lot of maggots. Like I said a bit ago, these fish are not used to being caught after 4.
We've seen a bit of that going on today.
Yeah, odd one, you're going to get that anyway.
Where in other matches you see one horse in the race, here we have probably got 4 or 5 at the moment. Absolutely. This man that we're looking at, Zac Brown, he's well and truly up there. He's well and truly over £100. Up at the opposite end of the lake, Jamie Hughes, what an absolutely magnificent start. Then the wheels came off, and you know what? They've not really come back on. 1 or 2 fish for him in the last 20 minutes. Yeah. But not brilliant, is it?
No, he basically succumbed to Chris Weeder, I think. But he's definitely still in with a big shout. Being an end peg, he's got a good margin peg. I've seen him catch a couple there, and it could get stronger in the last, well, this last 30 minutes. Chris Weeder, too, to his left, was basically started to catch really well, and I think that it was that period where he overtook Jamie. But Jamie's got every chance.
Oh, he's not out of the game yet, absolutely. He clumps the bait in as well, does Chris, doesn't he? He's not shy with it.
No, definitely.
Right, let's have a look now. This is on a replumbed rod. He's on again.
Kid. That's £200.
Now, you didn't say this on camera earlier because you were a little bit shy about saying it, but around about the halfway stage you did say to me with a little wry smile on your face that you thought it was Zac Brown's, and while everybody was up at the other end of the lake watching Jamie Hughes and watching Chris Weeder, you said, look, I reckon Zac's got it because it just looked too good down here and the way he was fishing.
Exactly, my thinking was that the peg looked to have massive potential. We all know that lakes like these switch on in the latter stages of the match, and Zac's peg just looks brilliant for it. It's got form. Everybody was saying it's a bit of a dolly peg. Just in my mind, it just seemed if we're doing the right things, I think he was, going to be there or thereabouts, and so it's proving.
But it was a dolly peg, not for the reasons he's caught. It was a dolly peg because they were all out on the edge down there, and it's supposed to be really good down this margin and really good off the platform.
Yeah, but when they want to feed, they'll come to where he's feeding, and that's what's happened. He's feeding in front of him. He's fishing a blinder, to be honest. He's giving him plenty of food. He's understanding what's going on in front of him, and that's the key.
Well, we've spent a fair bit of time down here now because this is where the action is, and that is Zac Brown landing yet another fish. And I've got to say, I think he may well have overtaken now. Yeah, it's hard to know what's happening at the top end of the lake, but Zac's just been relentless this last hour. Excellent fishing. He's just lined them up. That's exactly what you're looking to do in the latter stages of the match, especially when the fish are feeding properly. I think, in my mind, I think he's probably done enough to win. There are rounds of applause coming everywhere. We see Dale Shepherd next door. He has been very, very consistent this last hour. Aidan on the peg one, he has been incredibly consistent. There are fish coming out all over the place, and quite simply, it really is too close to call. For me, I think it is just going to be Zac's by a whisker. I think Chris and Jamie have been battling closely with each other. The hooter is very, very soon to sound. And there it is, that is the end. Big rounds of applause. Zac Brown is on his feet. Dale Shepherd next door is still playing one. What an incredible day it's been here at Woodlands. What an incredible event. The way this match has performed through the course of the day has been gripping. Really, really good event. Very, very close to call. You speak to anybody around the match, mate, I don't think anyone's going to be very confident about who's won. It could be a number. Exactly. Nobody's sure. The lake's done exactly what everybody thought it would do. It was very tentative at the start. This last couple of hours, it's been brilliant. Fish everywhere. And those people, have pushed forward. Those with the early lead, like Jamie, Chris Weeder,
But Zac Brown, for example's caught them up, I'm sure of it, 100% sure.
We're still looking at Dale Shepherd actually, he's not going to give up. There's another fish to be had there, that's a big one as well. He's fried it into the net.
The last couple that Dale's caught have been close to double figures. He's put 20, well, best part of £20 in his net in the last 10 minutes.
That is just fantastic. What a brilliant day, absolutely superb.
Yep.
Winterland, tell me all your secrets. Fill me in on your wildest moments.
So now we get to the exciting stuff. Chris Weeder Jr. He's had an absolutely brilliant match all the way through so far. And this is the first weight that we want to see because we feel this is where one of the podium places may be. It has been neck and neck between him and Jamie Hughes. One more fish to weigh, 135.03 is the current provisional weight. They'll all be checked afterwards to confirm.
24.15.
24.15. Chris Weeder, 160.02. And so to Jamie Hughes. This is the man that dominated the early stages of the match. First weigh, 54.03. This is going to be a big weight. It's going to be very, very close. Of course, there's another net yet. Looks like it's 52-ish pounds.
51.14.
51.14. £106, 1 ounce.
Just short. Just short.
Yeah. £106, 1 ounce to go. Needs 55 odd pound. It's not going to be there.
Just short.
Looking 30s, 40s.
43.10.
43.10. The last way for Jamie Hughes. It's not enough. Chris Weeder keeps the lead. Well, Zac, anxious moments. The scalesman's on his way. You've heard that £160 in the lead further up there.
Squeaky bum time.
It's close, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very close.
Yeah.
It is very close.
Just talk us through your day. What do you reckon you've got then?
I think I've got 22, 23 fish. I honestly don't know, Rob. Normally I'm very good with my weights, but for today I've not caught much early, and all of a sudden there was a load of fish, and it was like just keep putting them in the net sort of thing.
We'd got Chris and nose behind you.
Yeah.
And a little bit in front of Jamie, so where we are so far has been more or less right. However, you never know, do you?
No, you don't. You don't. He could have caught some bigger fish, you know. I don't know.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm all right now. It's either going to be elation or, you know, driving home with a sulk, innit? Been here before, haven't we?
Yeah.
So, fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed.
Well, moment of truth soon. Good luck, mate.
Cheers, mate.
This is the moment that we're all waiting for now. This is the one that we want to know about. Zac Brown, has he done enough? £160. 2 ounces is the weight that we've got to beat.
46.10.
£46.10 for weigh number 1. Second weigh for Zac. 4 nets in total. And we're over 50s. £54 dead. £100 and 10 ounces.
54.1.
54.1. 154.11. Zac needs £6 in this net. It's academic. We can tell you now that he's going to get this.
Matt always winning the sweepstake.
It can't be official. It can't be official yet, but it will be very soon. The first 100. day it's been. It's been drama, it's been excitement. We've had just a fantastic day up here at Woodlands. It has been superb, and all that's left to do now is hand over the cheque and the trophy, and the name that will be engraved on it is definitely one that is worthy of such a title.